Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranoia Manor developer commentary. There's really not much to say, because this is generally just a 3-day thing. I didn't really have much to plan here. Well, I guess I can just describe to you the map. So, here we have some spikes. There's obviously gonna be stuff in them, just to reward the curious. There's stone. If it doesn't have anything inside of it, there's probably just a stone on it, like these ones. But in like a few of these, there's like hay. So you start off with some of these. You get a wooden axe and some torches, and here are some simple things that to note. I made skeletons a lot easier, like a lot easier, and natural vexes they turn into just normal skeletons like these ones, except they have 15 health instead of 10. And phantoms will spawn from spawners, because originally I made skeletons turn into them, but I kind of like the idea of having skeletons, but not really skeletons. But I already have a bunch of just spawners for these guys, and they still affect you in creative. But they just give you 3 seconds of blindness and mining fatigue, and I should probably make it so it only affects survival mode people. But over here we have the actual manor. See this part, this gigantic cavern. It originally opened up to the sky, and I put barriers over it. But this side right here, I was using brush strokes because I forgot that erosion was a thing. And so this part's disgusting. I probably should fix that in the far future. Like this one, these other sides, much better. So at first I was just making this huge thing, and I wanted to base it sort of off of the Woodland Mansion. So obviously it's just a big thick old mansion over here with loads and loads of trees. Got some concrete powder that's brown under here, along with a mixture of stone and stuff. So also I tried my best to put little honey pots around, but you know that's hard for me. And we got ourselves a little illusion illager thing. So I put one up here, built a little face on it. So this is the front part. I probably spent let's see, 3/4 of a day of the jam just working on this area, just working on the outside part of this, because I didn't know how to give it a decent amount of detail, so I considered this enough. Like, this is probably enough. I didn't know how to make a good attic. There's nothing in these things for now. And there's a chimney. And that was like a very late addition. So in here, we've got plenty of spawners, and this is how you get to the monument straight here. But if you're planning on speed running this, I'd recommend coming. I wouldn't exactly recommend coming here first, but at least there's gear here. So there's 7 wolves and a bonus objective, and there's a pattern along the bonus objectives that you might notice about where they are. It's a pretty easy to recognize pattern. It's honestly really easy to. So originally, honestly, it's not that hard to deal with these zombies, because originally the spawn range for these guys were really low on certain floors. So uh, there was a lot of zombies, like random floods of them. So I obviously had to lower them, but it wasn't that hard to deal with them because all you really had to do with it was this, and then just hit them slowly. But that kind of took a while because of the mining fatigue of phantoms. So I'm going back to spectator mode. So there's not that much going on here, but I did have to add some more detail because that was a suggestion. I'm just gonna put it on peaceful for now. So this is there's a trap here, as you can see. I kind of stole a few ideas from Render, because if you break this one, it's an observer trap. It's gonna blow up, and we've got ourselves some Vex. Any Vex spawner you see is a Phantom spawner, because I do not approve of the things, what's it called, the actual Vexes. They're a sin, but there are 100% evokers, so there's like loot everywhere. I try to distribute food nicely. There's quite a few hay bales, if you notice, in the spikes over there. So I had to lower the spawn range of these guys because there were random floods of them whenever you came. So, but they mainly happened when you came over to this room and onward. So I decreased the spawn range of all the spider, zombie, and the spider and zombie spawners, but vexes and skeletons, because I wanted to keep them around. But I should probably actually I need to fix this part before I upload it, because when you break this, it'll actually fall, but the sand will still be there. So I need to put like slabs there or something. So yeah, you can get some iron from here, and yeah, you'll notice some glowing paintings everywhere, and that may or may not be where some stuff is. So yeah, this area, I'm actually pretty proud of this area. This the mansion itself, because it's just, I think it's the biggest of the dungeons that isn't the last dungeon. So yeah, it kind of just keeps going and going until you see more of these rooms. Each area that's a carpet is basically a warp to the next area, and that's basically, this area is how do you get to the one of the, like, the third to last area. Oh, that's a nice hole. So yeah, I basically went through a checklist to check if I put like loot, certain types of loot. So in whatever is relevant, I put skeleton with like natural skeletons, like the ones with bows and full health. Like anything with like a wool or a warp pad, I put skeleton spawners there. So yeah, there's plenty of loot actually like everywhere, to be honest. You can get a bow real early. Skeletons are weak. So this is the manor. This basically just keeps going on with the same sort of style. So let's take a look into the next area. Alright, here is the library of the spirits. So basically, I only called that because I basically threw a ton of these phantom spawners down. There's not as many as there was originally, but there's still a lot more than there should be. So these skeleton spawners are just not the skeletons, but with books in their hands. They still have their full health, I'm pretty sure, but they got books. So yeah, here's where the next area is. There's quite a few spawners here, but not too many. It looks actually pretty fair. So the wall is up along this pathway. I put loads of bookshelves here. This is where I didn't need that much detail because I already put some here, like a lot. So each side is basically a mirror of itself. If you see a split pathway. So these kind of just mirror each other, but lead to the same general thing. See, this is anything with like a load of spawners. There's probably something good there. So keep going, keep going. You come across this. This is where I kind of ran out of ideas, so I just put a bunch of pillars here. But there's not really too much around here except for glowstone and light sources. But over here you'll see some. Where do I? No, not there. Where? Oh, wait. Where did I put the... Let me take a look through the walls real quick. Oh, yeah, here. I just didn't see it. So if you look through these little areas, this is where all the good stuff is. You see 2 diamonds and iron here. But on the other side, you'll get a nice spicy book if you don't like to use shields. So when this is in your offhand, it'll actually increase your armor by how much armor you have. So let's say if you had a full set of diamond, it would, I think, yeah, it would add an armor bar and a half in addition to that. So it's based around how much armor you already have, and that'll also increase how much attack damage you do, based on what weapon you're using. So the wool is just up these stairs, and it's blocked. So you either have to sit there through the spawners, or deal with those monster eggs, or break around like a bad little boy. So here's a shortcut to get back down, and yeah, that's basically this area. Let's go into the magenta area. Oh yeah, these little warps. So whenever you fall in here, I had to ensure you had resistance so you didn't die through the fall. So that used to be a very large problem I saw as people played it. So yeah, now that's nice and safe. So it's on this side here. It's over here. Where is it at? It's here. Here it is. So this is the infested dining hall. I made sure every single thing gave you resistance. So this area is not that big, but it's still pretty challenging. But I put these here because I wanted something on the wall, so I just made a little pattern that repeated that way. Got these little chandeliers going. And there's cake. Every single one of these cakes has a stone egg under it. And since there's silverfish under, so some silverfish spawners, then you hit those little bad boys, they'll probably activate a few of these. So here's the kitchen area. There's one of the only water sources, I think. And here's some raw meats. There's actually a pretty nice amount of spawners, but I made sure, not really made sure, but I guess I sort of accidentally intended that there were no honeypots in any area besides the manor area, just because that area is so big. So there should be a lot more monsters here, considering the amount of spawners here and lack of honeypots. So yeah, wolves right here, and there's a chicken right here, just in case you are a nice little farmer grinder boy. You got something to do. So let's head over to the attic. Alright, we're here back in the evocation attic. So this is basically a replica. I cloned the roofing area, and I just stretched it very far. So I put loads of food here, so if someone managed to get here, they can grab as much food as they want, but they'll have to deal with these evokers. And they're actually pretty fast for what they do, but they're basically just spawners with spawners who have an extra attack. But I've noticed the evokers sort of, they kind of just sometimes accidentally attack their skeletons, and the skeletons will go after them, and then they'll die. But whatever. So there's plenty of stone and food around, but there's danger. So just lots of webs, and just in case you manage somehow can't get a bow. There's more phantom spawners around here, and these are 2 skeleton spawners. Got a nice diamond ore here. And what does this chest have? Oh yeah, light sources. So there's some diamond, and this is another evoker spawner because you can't get enough of those guys. And yeah, I didn't try to put too many, but those are just 3 evoker spawners that are right here. But here's the light blue wool. So let's head back into the library of the spirits, because that's where the next area kind of heads into. Alright, we're back in the library. If you accidentally get knocked on this is the basement of the dark arts. So you go from the library straight into the basement. So once you're here, this is just more like a nethery dark area. So I probably should reduce the spawn radius of this thing right here because it's so close to the warp. And yeah, so we got a blaze spawner here. I didn't actually give this area too much thought, but I gave it detail because I wanted to give area just a little bit of detail. So this is just an area. There's some gold, and I'm pretty sure there's nether wart at the very bottom. So this kind of just goes on and on and on and on and on. There's gold, blaze spawners, the gist, and then you'll eventually head into the wool right here. See, this is where it starts to get a little tricky because phantoms, skeletons, and blazes. But there's nether wart. This is nether wart, but here's the wool. Yeah, this area is overall pretty simple to deal with. There's a few wither skeletons here and there. Just a little higher in difficulty, but not too bad. So let's head into the area that branches off of the attic. Alright, so once you're in the attic and you cross all this pathway, and you'll approach this. This is the derailing chimney. I didn't actually intend it to be that. Well, because I actually just threw something last minute in there. But here's where you can get some potions. Those are originally fire resistance, but I found that made this part too easy. So, derailing, I didn't actually originally put rails here, but I found it was really easy if you just pillar it up. So there's little obstacles for you little boys who pillar up, but they'll probably just be really easy to clear. So, whatever, they exist. So, this is just a long climb. You got to pillar up, or staircase up. I'm not too picky. So, once you get up, there's some blaze spawners and some skeleton, like maybe 1 or 2 skeleton spawners. I'm not even sure if there are any. And then you'll just pass by this lime wool, grab that, get back down if you're safe, but then you'll come across this. This is where it starts to get a little confusing as to what is actually going on. So, this is the alternative paradox. So, there's some kind of drift here in the chimney that kind of changed what the world is supposed to be. So the chimney got somehow transferred into a lighthouse in some kind of messed up island for making items, such as structure blocks and various command blocks. So here you have a little hillside with a lot of spawners here. So there's large patches of diamond and gold ore spread out throughout this island, and there's a few spawners. See, all these little spawners and chests there, I didn't actually put here originally. So there's potions and there's plenty of diamonds to go around here, and yeah, there's treasure along on top of this, and just in case you can't find those things, there's fat diamond patches in the sky. And here's a little dock for this island, and there's end ships, which I kind of just found in structure block files. Yeah, and this is just like a big old worm thing I had an idea of, but you probably can't tell that it's a worm thing. But that's okay. So I put little patterns on it, and there's some diamond blocks on the end of it, just in case someone feels like it. It's probably pretty easy to get to if you know what you're doing. And I try to put little, because I had to modify this a little, so in each ship kind of has those natural stuff. I got rid of all the shulker structure things, NBT holders, so I had to re-put the chests here, so, because they were just like empty chests with structure blocks on them, so I re-put the chests with the loot tables on them, so not really sure what you could get, but you can get some pretty nice gear. So here you've got nice face. Not really sure what to call this creature, but there's some hands coming to grab at some of these islands, and this one's grabbing at the ship over here. Ooh, nice and spooky. So some of these islands contain ender pearls, but the ones with gas spawners on them have like two plus. So here's this nice face on here. This has some nice stuff. Got a knockback 4 sword with some golden apples and steak. And I don't really have to check that because each ship kind of has a similar stuff. Each one is a dragon head if you really feel like going for there. And that area, that's the monument. So you really start to see what's above the upper part of the map. But now you know. The upper part of the map is where is this isle. This is some confusing isles. It's the alternative paradox. So this one should have, yeah, it is Prot 3 and 2 Ender Pearls. So the gas spawners will make it much more worth going to if you decide to build. But I expect you to Ender Pearl because they they give you more Ender Pearls. And here, this was I tried not to. I realized that I kind of ripped off Sea of Flames right here, but you know what? That's okay. And honestly, I try to center this area to be some sort of guarding center, because this area is world spawn. This part right here is world spawn. If you touch this thing, you get sent straight down to where you start. So this area is sort of guarded. See these right here? These are long-ranged, no-gravity skeletons. So I highly recommend using Ender Pearls. Here's a hand coming to grab the clutches of this pink wool. There's gas spawner on top. And each one of these spires has a skeleton spawner on top of it. And these are just little, nothing's inside these tiny little boulders of command blocks. But this is where all the special stuff comes in. Here's where all the special stuff comes in. There's 3 hands coming out of some of these spires. And this represents the starting area. This represents, what is this even? This represents the library of the spirits. That represents the kitchen area. So you can see this is sort of the epicenter of ideas. So there's another end ship there. I forgot. No, I didn't forget to get rid of it. I kind of just kept it there because I probably should have made a hand that came out of it and try to grab it. But there's stuff in here. I'm pretty sure it's not that great of stuff, but it's still stuff. So yeah, there's an enchanted gold bottle and some potions, and there's loads of TNT just in case you feel like having fun or something. So each one of these chests has a very special item. It's crucial, almost crucial to helping you. You don't really need these, but they will certainly help, and I made it a lot easier to get to them, so you don't really have to bridge with all these skeletons around. You can just run up here, grab them, and go. So once you have the wool, you will, obviously I use an advancement system, so when you got all that, you got all the advancements, boom, you're done. But let me show you the optional objectives real quick. The optional objective is based off of 4 separate Testerian orbs. And once you put them all together, you get a purple block, which you can then place on the monument, and you'll get your sexy little advancement. So, each one of these is based off of a tester, well, a form of tester, that I just used their criticism to help me fix my map a little. So, here we have the Zerpian Tester Orb, which is from Zerp, just to thank Zerp1 for helping me, giving me that spicy criticism that I always need, and help me just patch up some problems that I had with my map. So each one of these Testerian Orbs will give the player Speed 1 and Resistance 1 when it's in their hand. So eventually you got to get rid of them if you want to place that optional objective. Here we have the Tutalian Tester Orb. kind of helped me rebalance the difficulty, because apparently it was a little too hard at the beginning. So thank you to Tails21 for helping me patch up that beginning area because of the difficulty. Here we have the Athenian Tester Orb, which will thank Nox Athena for showing me the problems around the main mansion, showing me that the spawn range of some of these guys, well, the required player range, is a little too high, and there's some overall balances, such as the Vexes and the Skeletons. Here we have the Vietnamese Tester Orb for thanking VinLT for showing me that the multiplayer problems with this map, which I intend to fix. Alright, so update 1.2 should already be out once this is released, so it'll just be in the description if you really want it. So, this is part of the this was part of the Strawberry Jam number 18 for Mind Games. It's sort of based around Mind Games, mainly just only because of the when you walk around, when you sprint every once in a while, you'll get this little Vex sound. See, like Vexes. So if your sounds are high enough, you'll be able to hear a little Vex sound whenever you start sprinting. So yeah, that's basically it. I'll smell you, ladies and gentlemen, later.